Hello everyone, bonjour tout le monde. Welcome to EFA58 on this Monday, May 25th. Follow me. Follow me if you want to live a long, prosperous, healthy life. And by following me, I will advise you to follow a lifestyle. And I'm going to talk about the 5%, why the lifestyle, the 5%, and I'm going to explain the 95%. And I'm going to get into that because going forward into the world of COVID mindsets, right? Remember, these virus mindsets are in place now. Generations of this will be in place. People will want their space. It's no end if but they're also going to control a lot of boxes of humanity. Those that are unhealthy, those that have poor immune systems, those that have, exactly, right? So you need to be very healthy growing forward, internally, mind, body. And I will explain to diets and why 95% of that they say that diets fail. And a lot of my knowledge comes from my entire lifetime, right? Entire lifetime, I finally, poof, got me at 53. But also a lot of knowledge, I obviously from documentaries and news footage, I'm talking 53 years of it, 54 years of it, of absorption of this. But also we have some very knowledgeable podcasts out there, like your Joe Rogan type series and that bring in some of the smartest guests out there. There's a lot of great podcasts like YouCan'tArgueTheFacts, that kind of stuff, like great information that I follow and I listen to and absorb, because they bring in these guests sometimes that it's like, these are latest studies based on all this research, right? Latest findings based on 20 years or 10 years that really studied. So this is why I chose to do this lifestyle and why it's important to listen to understand on this. In my lifetime, there was a series that I had watched, whether it's Dateline or 60 Minutes, this is years ago. And this was like a 50-year study. It was a 35-year study. It was a long-term study. And what they found in a nutshell in this study was a lot of the things that people do actually didn't work. It truly didn't work. And those that live the longest, most healthy lifestyles, longest lifestyle, number one were those that ate the least. Today we call it intermittent fasting lifestyle, but intermittent fasting is not new. It's as old as time itself, right? So those that ate the least are the ones that live the longest, healthiest lifestyle. Then they talked about the Okinawans, they talked about the Seventh-day Adventists, they talked about in Italy, some of these parts of Italy, people living beyond 100 or up to 100, but healthy, right? Healthy. But they ate differently. Like your Adventists, they don't eat your bottom crawlers, they don't eat pork, they don't touch alcohol, etc. There's a lot of criteria that they follow under their guidelines, right? In religion and their followings. And then you have your Okinawans will eat seafood, will eat pork, but they eat like in slices and very minimal kind of stuff. But then you have the groups in Italy, the cultures that eat all natural, right? All real food in smaller quantities and smaller portions. The combination of all those three commonality, if you look at them, is all natural, right? They eat all naturally. Those life forms, doesn't matter if they're Adventists, doesn't matter if they're from Italy, in the mountains of Italy, it doesn't matter if they're Okinawans, they all ate natural. Okay, so that was number one. Okay, number one on top I talked about is eat the least. Then a lot of the research out there, that 95%, the 95% is a failure rate of all diets. People either all the weight they lost, they gain it back, or they gain more, or etc. Right? That 1-2 year span of it. I lived those years. I tried them all. When I was young and fit and training, etc., and the abs, I had abs on my back. And back in those days, I remember those days quite well. But I was also I wasn't eating the best, trust me, but I was young and I was burning, etc. Then around 33, the age of Christ, I started changing. My body started changing, right? That's when the fat starts covering that, because your metabolism, etc., changes. Now I'm 53, I'm 54 now, but at 53, the light bulb went off based on the following. That 95%, they talk about those diets, the failures, and they say, I've tried them all. They fail because they're unrealistic, unsustainable. Like I've tried them all, and I'm sure a lot of you have tried everything, right? Unsustainable. You gain back the weight you do, right? It has to be a lifestyle. That's where the success rate was. The 5% is a lifestyle. Those that succeeded was that. So when I listened to that and I started looking, I won't mention names out there, look at your most famous celebrities, how fit they are forever, right? 10 years ago, they're still fit. 15 years ago, they're still fit. They follow a lifestyle. Look at your most individualized individuals that you know that are always fit. You look at them, they're always fit, but they also live a lifestyle. That's the lifestyle they live. That's what you need to find for yourself. Me, what did I do? And I found out yesterday through a podcast while working on a property that what I do actually is actually a very good thing from research and study. And this is two different podcasts that I was listening to. One of them was like a Joe Rogan type podcast, and it was Keto Camp podcast at two different times. And this kind of information came out that exactly what I'm doing is actually very good health-wise. I mix it all up. When I started on June 3rd, I started tweaking. Like I said, I talked about the Kevin John Doe and my partner said, and my daughter, and one of the reasons why, all those old episodes. And then, so when I did that, I started researching what am I going to do? And I started looking at those lifestyles, the certain lifestyles, 10, 15 years later, they haven't put on their weight back. People lost 100 pounds, did not put their weight back on. Follow those lifestyles. Look at them. 10 years, 15 years. Follow them. You'll see people have been living lifestyles 20 years, 25 years, and they didn't put any weight back on. And these are people that lost all this weight. They figured it out. Like I did at 53, they figured it out at some point in their life. So what I did, intermittent fasting, number one rule for me. Number two was my OMAD that I built up to that. I just naturally built up to OMAD. I look at food like fuel. I'm literally not, they'll have guys in front of me with a bucket of Kentucky. Hey, you want some? Come on. I look at it, it'd be like eating paper right now. Paper on my desk, it'd be like eating paper. It doesn't interest me. So intermittent fasting lifestyle built eventually up to OMAD, which my OMAD I do Monday to Friday. 1 meal a day. Monday to Friday, I do my OMAD. On Saturday, my OMAD, I usually eat max a 2-hour window for my OMAD. Let's say 5 to 7, be 5:30, 7:30, that's a max. On average, probably an hour. I have an hour, and that's it. The rest is all fluids, non-calorie fluids throughout my day, etc. But I'm not hungry. But my meal is a feast. They call it your feasting window and your fasting window. My meal is a nice feast, just like the old days. Your big salads, your soups, your big plate, all natural, all real food, dessert, everything. I feast for that dinner, right? And I sit down, and if it's something, but like I always said, if somebody comes to the house and in the afternoon and want to have a snack, absolutely, I will, as long as it's natural, all those rules, non-processed and that. So I'm going to get into that. So intermittent fasting was number one. OMAD, I built up to that. Non-processed. I take out non-processed. It has to be real. And I've mentioned this before, if it's not from God, Mother Nature, Earth herself, I don't want it, right? I don't want it. It's non-processed food is what I eat. Do I still take stuff out of bags, those kind of things? Absolutely. But 1 or 2 ingredients or 3, you know what's in it. It's real, right? They just have to package it. So it's all, as much as possible, 99.9% non-processed, right? Sugars. I cut all my sugars. That's why I did that. By taking out those sugars and by taking out the processed food, I truly believe I took away the addiction of food. And people ask me, how hard was it? Honestly, when I went cold turkey, I cut the processed food, and I cut the sugars out of my life, right? And I started like that. And I'm telling you, it wasn't hard at all. People ask me, how hard was it? It wasn't hard at all. And I really believe it's because I basically put myself through detox in a way. I put myself into my own, through intrinsic motivation. I checked myself in. And I went through all the withdrawals, but I didn't. Like once I stopped eating the sugars, and I stopped eating the processed food on that June 3rd, going forward, it became easy. The addiction was gone. And then my 3 meals a day, because I used to eat between 11 and 7, became 3 and 7, right? And then it became OMAD. And then it became, if I am hungry, if I do want something during the day, I'll make a fat coffee, one of those, if I do want something. Generally, it's just sparkling water and the espressos or black coffees. That's what it is generally. I'm not hungry. And then honestly, the sparkling waters, they fill you up. So, and that's what happens, right? So that the food addiction disappears. That's your success rate. That's your 5%. By me blending in my intermittent fasting lifestyle, my OMAD lifestyle, my keto-ish lifestyle, like desserts, keto-ish type lifestyles, absolutely, right? Do I eat keto straight, no, but I eat to wish, like for desserts and those kind of things. That's what I do. The non-processed food, the no sugars, that kind of stuff as much as possible. Like I talked about on previous EFA, even my wines 2 grams or less. I don't want the 10, 15, 20, 30, 2 grams or less of sugar. Tons of great wines out there for that. I do that. Like I said, I talked about before, restaurants and shit. I still live my lifestyle. And the reason is the success rate is because it's a lifestyle. I live my lifestyle. It's real. It's like the old days. It's truly like the old days. You know, and people who on the farm used to probably full day of working before they ate. Right? You remember those pictures of the guys with the tires and they're fit? you get, like, you know, your farmer strong. They talk about the farmer strong, but they're constantly working, right? They're constantly working. They're constantly moving something. They're constantly building muscles. So if you want to live a long, prosperous life, right, in this COVID-19 mindset world going forward, and we are going forward with that kind of mindset, people will want their space. And here's a good thing about your space. There is a situation in Toronto, Canada, where all these pictures of all these people in this park, and people are upset, infuriated. And we talked about this, like respecting each other's space. I actually like the respect of each other's space. I'm one of those guys. So I feel for those people that do want to go and congregate, but you can do it. And there was a picture of all these circles and people spread out in these circles. That actually be a good concept everywhere. It's actually a good concept. It's actually for everybody's space. Everybody can live. Everybody can do their things. But that's what, you know, proactive areas are doing that, right? And please don't charge any fees to anyone for doing so, but those are good space. But maximize your space. You got that 6 feet now. You got that 6 feet. I was looking for tools this morning, and I'm looking for tools, and I'm actually stretching. I'm looking for tools, and I'm going through and I'm stretching. I'm stretching the sciatic. I'm stretching the back. I'm stretching everything. Use your 6 feet now. You're in a lineup somewhere. Stretch. Stretching is good for you. That's another thing that I started doing. I'm not kidding you. I could be standing, I'm pumping gas, and I'm warming up my calves. I'm pumping gas, and I'm pulling on I'm like, I can feel my hamstring. I'm doing my stretches, right? So don't feel odd doing that. Do it for yourself. Don't care what others. People want to do what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do. The stretching, very important going forward. You want to live a long, prosperous life that we talked about, and stay out of those boxes. Remember, those boxes will be controlled. You're sick, you're elderly, your poor immune systems, they're all going to be controlled. You don't want to be controlled. You want to stay healthy. Find your lifestyle. Find something that works for you, and that's the only thing that's going to work for you on the long term, forever, right? It will change you. It will completely change your mind and body. The diets that I followed in the past, that would change maybe my mind and not my body, and not my mind. But this lifestyle that I live, it changes your body and your mind. It changes everything. So, and then it's for when you're looking at you're going forward into this life that you don't want to be in the hospital, you don't want to be going to see the doctor, you don't need to be sick, you don't want to be sick, right? You don't want to be sick, world. And then if you're looking at, you don't want to be part of a system. You don't want to be part of a system that's going to track you if you're sick, correct? Think about that for a second. You do not want to be part of a system that's going to track you if you're sick. Your goal is to longevity, is to live a long life. And if you take out the commonalities, whether it's your Okinawans, whether it's your Adventists, whether it's your groups of people that eat the least, whether it's your statistics of the amount of Italy, there's groups out there. What is the commonality? The commonality is they're all natural. That's the commonality. 2, they eat very little, not like us like North Americans, hence the intermittent fasting type lifestyles and the OMAD type lifestyle that I live. They live like our ancestors were supposed to live. We are engineered to regenerate inside. Engineered, that is no in it or but. They know that. They know that by living an intermittent fasting lifestyle, they know by fasting 16 plus hours, right? I on average, probably 22 hours now, 20 hours in a week. If I combine it Monday to Friday, Monday to Sunday, my Monday to Sunday average, according to my app, is 20 hours. That's my fasting window, 20 hours. That's my average 7-day window. So that means I have a 4-hour window, even though during the week it's less than an hour, 2 hours weekends. That's my lifestyle. That is my lifestyle. And it's changing me, but I know, unless my heart stops or whatever, I know that if I live this lifestyle, statistically, backed by data, backed by anecdotal everything on this earth, if you follow this lifestyle, you will live long, prosperous, healthy life out of the system. Out of the system. Jean-Guy Bourguignon, EFA58.